What's up, guys? Jumping into the next video. So to just kind of pick up where we left off, the last video we learned a little bit how to make the basic structure of an HTML file. So we know how to put the doc type, we know all about the HTML, the head tags, the body tags, what the title means, and how to display the text. So just for the purpose of this video, we've condensed down everything else that we had. We're still going to go through everything. So now what we have is in the header of the body, we just say hello. So this is what we're going to play with. So it says hello, plain text. And what we're going to do is we're going to add some CSS to it today. So before we jump into any CSS, the first thing we need to do is create the CSS file. So let's open up a new file in Notepad++, and then we're going to save as. So again, for consistency, we have it loaded up to the same location, the same folder that we're keeping our index file in. So let's call this styles.css, and we're going to go ahead and save that. So now we have our CSS file, and then just to jump into that folder, you can see we have our document types here. So we have the HTML document that we've been working in, and we have our brand new cascading style sheet, which is CSS, that we are going to start adding into today. Grab a quick drink. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is encode the HTML file. So what this encoding does, so you're going to use meta character sets or char set equals, and then what we want to set it to is UTF equals 8. And what that encoding means essentially is it's going to kind of align your HTML with all of the web pages on the internet right now. So just anytime you're making an HTML file right now, always set it to character set UTF-8. The next thing we want to do is we want to link that CSS file that we just made to this HTML file. So the way we do that is we create a relationship. So we want that relationship to equal a style sheet, because what we're linking is the style sheet or the CSS file. And then we're going to have a hypertext reference or an href. So href, not hred. We want that to equal our file name, so we want it to call out to the specific file that we've located. If you store this file anywhere else on your computer, or if it's in the web and you wanted to reference a CSS file that's already existed or whatever, you would add in the an @ URL, and then you would put in the URL where it is. But since we have or if it's in a different folder, you would link it to that different file path. But it's in the same exact file location, so right now we're just going to link it to the exact file name. So styles.css in quotations, and then make sure you save it. So anytime you're doing anything, make sure you save, just to make sure you're not losing your work. And then we didn't change anything. All we did was link the CSS file to the HTML, so if we refresh, you can see nothing changes, and that's fine because that's what we wanted to do. But now what we can do is start to work in the CSS file. So there's different ways to call out to different parts. So if we wanted to call out to the body, we would type in body, and we put a squiggly bracket, and then all the CSS lines we put in here, that's going to apply to the just the body. So it's just styling the body there. Let's put a close squiggly bracket, because just like our HTML, you have to open everything and you have to close everything. That's what sections everything off. So just to jump right into it, kind of the purpose I wanted this video is for you guys to understand the basic functions of CSS and some very easy lines to put in, and then really the idea would be to just keep trying it over and over, and keep practicing. Practice makes perfect until you get down to learning it pretty well, and then we'll be ready to move on to the next videos. So the videos always be here, so if you ever want to reference them, they're always here. So I just encourage you to practice. But so right now the text is on the left side of the web page. So right now, let's say I just want to align that to the center. So let's save that and refresh, and now you can see our text is moved to the center. So that's exciting. Let's work with two different bodies of text. So we have hello, which is here in the web page, and that's just in the header. Let's just create a p tag for now and say this is separate from the header, exclamation, and then we're not boring people, so I guess let's add some sort of emoji. Let's do the thumbs up, so double thumbs up. Woo woo. And then don't forget to close that off. There we go. Nope. Almost. Can't type. There we go. So now we save it, and then you'll see we have, oh, this is separate from the header, yay! Or let's take the capital away because that's weird looking. And save that, refresh, and we are good to go. So now anything that we're putting in this CSS body tag is going to affect everything that we just put in. So let's say we want to change let's change the font. So we want the font to be bold. So we want to look at the font weight and let's make it bold. So we can save it. So again, everything within the body specifically, you can see now it's all bolded. So that's exciting. Getting into things that are more fun and things that can feed into adding customization to your web pages or whatever we want to make later. Let's just change the background color. So let's make it green. So now the background color is green. So when we refresh, hey, we have a cool green. We can change it to blue if we want. Save it, refresh it. Yay, it's blue. And that's cool. And this blue is very, very good and very bright. But I'm a very minimalist kind of person, and I would really prefer to have a lighter blue. But to get what we really want, you can use something that's called a hex tag. And unless you know what the hex tag is specifically, it's kind of hard to do. But fortunately, we have the internet, and I'll link this web page within the description, and it's htmlcolorcodes.com. So if we wanted like a light blue, I like that one. That's almost like a gray blue. This is your hex tag here. So if what we can do is we can copy that hex tag, and where it says blue, let's just replace it with the hex tag here. And then go back to our web page. So now let's save it, and your computer is going to recognize the hex tag, and it's going to change it to because you can kind of see here, you have the specific RGB or the coloring for this color right here, and your computer is going to know that, so it's going to pull that color. So that's really good. HTML color codes can be your best friends. Make sure you use it, especially if you're going to work on anything like this, and you're very specific and want a specific color. You can kind of get it. So let's keep this background for now. I like it. And then jump into the next bit. So let's say we wanted a difference. We want a difference between this p tag and this hello tag. What we can then do is, the main difference is everything's within the body, so everything's going to change. If you wanted something specified within a specific tag, like we can pull this header tag. So we will then, just like we did the body, we'll do header, squiggly bracket, let's close it off, give ourselves some room to work. So actually what I like to do is, let's take away both of those. So we just want, right now, we want let's save it. We want just the background to change. Everything, nothing's bolded, nothing's changed, and it's all on the left. But on the header specifically, we want the header to be centered, and we want the header to be bolded. Okay. So save, and now you can see that just the header moves over. It's bolded, and it's centered. So cool. So you can kind of see the differences between working within your tags and how the different elements can be affected by CSS in a very specific manner. So one thing I don't like about this web page, or if you can call it a web page that we're building right now, is the text is very plain. Another website that I'll link in the description, which is Google Fonts. What's nice about this website is you can kind of go through, and essentially what is a catalog of a bunch of free fonts to use. You can always make your own fonts or find very custom fonts. We don't need anything fancy. Again, I'm a minimalist kind of person. I kind of like this one. It's almost like handwriting. And then you're going to see there's a couple different types here. Let's just grab this one because I like this one. So what you can do with Google Fonts is find a style that you like. Open up your selected styles, and you can either download these and put these in your folders, or what's nice is you can actually get the links to embed them. So we're going to take this import URL, and you can kind of see it says style here, and then it's a closed style. That's for inline CSS within an HTML file. I don't recommend to ever use inline CSS just because it can get very clunky, and it's two different types of things that you really, it's not optimal to mix them. It's not very efficient. especially if, like, let's say you had a big set of code and then something goes wrong, it's going to be hard to find it. So what we want to do is take the import URL without the style tags. I'm going to go to the CSS and let's just paste it in the top here. So cool, we have imported our text. It should change, right? Oh, it didn't change. I wonder why. The reason why is we're not going within the CSS for different elements, and we're not telling it to change. So what we want to do then is we want to go back to Google Fonts. And what's nice about Google Fonts is not only can you import the URL directly from the website, but it also gives you the CSS rules to apply right into your elements. So we can actually take this and copy and paste it. Let's put in the header first, just so I can show you again the difference between working within different pieces of a large body or element and things like that. So now you can see, hey, our header has changed, but our body did not change, which is okay. But just to kind of show you again, that's just an example of how you can work within the two different elements. But for the body in general, we want it to apply to everything. So let's just go ahead and add it to everything. So now you can see we have different text. That one's kind of plain too, actually. Let's go back. Find something a little bit more fun. Let's do. How about we do? We can do. So this is what's nice, is there's just a huge catalog. You can actually search up top also and see kind of things you want. So this is kind of fun. Here, let's use this one. Indie flower. So I'm okay with that one. Let's go to review really quick, and let's remove the other one just because we don't want it. And let's update our import URL. Oop. There we go. So we're going to take that, we're going to copy it over this. So we do not want this one anymore. So just V that one in. Delete the font family, just so we can get something a little bit more fun in there. Alright, so now the text should change, and it should look a little bit more fun. Hey, that's cool. But the text is very small and things like that. So again, another thing we can do is, let's say we want to change the font size of our text. So let's change it to 20 pixels. So what the pixels means, and it'll make a little bit more sense once you go into different videos, is it's going to be sizing, and you can use pixels applies to a lot of things. It could be your font sizing, if you have borders or anything like that. Anything you're transforming really it's going to be run by pixels, which again will make a lot more sense once we dig into more specific things. But for right now, what I want you to worry about for the pixels is sizing of your text, and we'll I guess we can do a border also, and just pick and play. So what's nice is if we save that, you can see everything's going to increase in size a little bit. And really what you'd like to do, especially in scenarios like this, like if this is all we're doing, you can just pick and play. Like if you wanted your text a little bit smaller, move it to 15 pixels, and you'll say, that's too small, I need to go up a little bit higher. Or let's just do, I want everything a little bit bigger, so let's do 25 pixels. So there we go, that looks quite a bit better. Something that I would like though is, I would like for this header to be a different size from the rest of the text in the body. So again, since we do have separate CSS for our header element, we can go to the font size, and let's make it twice as big. So we'll make it 50 pixels, and we'll save it, and now we'll have a header that's quite a bit larger. See? Yay, that's exciting. So quite a bit larger than the rest of the body. And then we're going to tweak that down just a little bit. Let's go back to 20 pixels, just to make the header a little bit more robust. So that's exciting. And again, just to make things a little bit more fun and customizable, let's change the background color of just the header, so we can kind of give the header a nice little flare. And we don't want it to be conflicting, so we have like this lighter blue, maybe we can do like a cool red that's like very faint as well. That's not bad. Let's take this hex tag. So we'll take that background color, and then we will save it. Let's go back to our web page and refresh. And now you can see, hey, we have a cool red border around our header, so that's exciting. It's very blocky, so I'm a very picky person, so Siri's talking to me. I'm a very picky person, so I would like to add a border. And there's a lot of things you can do with the border, but for now we want a solid border, and let's make it white. So now what we're going to have is, hey, a nice separating border between the header and then the rest of the text within the body. So that's exciting. Again, I like things to be very clean, so I don't like these blocked off edges. And something that I'm a big fan of, and you'll see me do in a lot of web pages and things like that, or whatever I work on, is I like things to be very rounded off, very clean. So what we can do for this border specifically is change the border radius. Let's just make it 5 pixels for now. So let's save that. And what we've done is, looking at these corners, we're going to essentially round them off. So you can see they have a little bit of rounding off. I kind of want a little bit more. Let's just do, let's do 12 pixels. That should be pretty rounded at that point. Hey, that looks good, so that's exciting. And then padding. Actually, let's do padding bottom. So let's change that to 5 pixels. And then what you're going to see here is we just increased the bottom edge here. Has now increased, so you can kind of see a very slight difference between the top here and the bottom there. You can also pull it in like this, so if we do like -5 pixels, then the top would be a little bit bigger than the bottom, so you can kind of see the changes there. But for right now, we just want to change all overall padding around the whole thing. So let's change it by 10 pixels just to kind of clear everything away. So let's go ahead and do that. And save it. Yay! So we have a little bit more space, open space within that header. So that's looking pretty good. So now we have the different font sizes, the new text, the background colors. We have a cool looking border. You can add a border to the body, something we're probably going to get into in the next video. So we'll do a border. Let's just do solid, and then we'll do black. And then you can kind of see, this one's really clunky though because it kind of just fills all the way around. Maybe if we had a border radius, it would be looking a little bit better. Radius. Actually, you know what? Let's make it the same radius. And then it should groove right in with one another, yeah. And then let's make this white as well, just for fun. White. Ah, that looks bad. Actually, we're going to have to add a little bit more weight onto that one. So let's make it 14 pixels. Ooh, that's too much, 114. So we'll do 14 pixels and see if it kind of blends together. Need a little bit more pixels on that. Let's do 20. Save that in. There we go. So it looks a little bit better. And then I don't like how close the text is there, so I guess we may as well align that one. Center. Just to make this specific one that we're working on look a little bit better. There we go. So now we have a cool little border. It's almost like a name tag. Hello, my name is... Hey, let's make a name tag really quick. Hello, my name is... I don't know what we should name ourselves. Let's just name ourselves... let's do TopherTime, I guess. So, boom, save it, and then flex it. So, hey, look, we've made it. I wonder... This one I actually don't know, but let's experiment really quick. So, can we connect that P tag? So anytime we have a P tag, can we change the background color? Let's see if we can make like a... Let's do it more orange. Let's do that, see how it looks. I don't even know if this will work actually, but I hope it does. Here's my background color. Close it off. I don't know. Let's find out. Does not work. Okay, So the reason why I'm seeing if it worked, because normally what we can do for specific things in here, and this is what we're going to jump into in the next video, is creating div and class IDs to very specific things, and then those will then link to different custom entities. So we can kind of create things like, what if we had like a name badge, like if we were making a name badge and we created it just like that, this name badge would have to reference a class ID that we create in here. And once we do that, this specific CSS around the class ID that we create is only going to change that very specific section. So it can be down to one letter or a phrase or whatever you want. But we're going to jump into that in the next video. But for now, I think we've learned a lot in this video. So just make sure, again, as you're learning, you're going through it, you're reviewing it, and keep trying things as you keep going. And just make sure that you guys are getting it as you're going along, so you're really interested in doing it, because eventually what we're going to get into is probably creating HTML games and things like that, or do something fun just to learn a new skill. So awesome. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, just make sure you're commenting down below, and I'll definitely get right back to you. And as always, like and subscribe, and then enjoy the content. So thanks for watching.